Traditionally, recruiting firms will charge 20, 25, 30% of first year salary, kind of on a brokerage headhunter kind of model. Or you've probably heard of temporary services or hiring consultants or attempt to hire kind of model. They do that also, where essentially they attach a high bill rate on a labor cost of an employee, and that's kind of how
Right.
they make their margin. That's how they make their money. And then as I was in this model for 10 years, it's a grind industry. There's certain industries, whether it's logistics brokerages or selling insurance or real estate. You look at these industries, and underneath it all, these are brokerage businesses. And brokerage businesses by nature are very inefficient. And I'll speak to recruiting for a second. It's a model where the customer is basically asking you to work for free for a certain period of time, but they'll pay you on an outcome. And in this case, the hiring of an individual that you source, screen, and present to them. Right.
Right.
So when you look at that, and when you're working at one of these companies, there's all this inefficiency that causes a lot of headaches. It causes a lot of turnover. So, for example, a company might reach out to a recruiting firm and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a senior salesperson in this industry." That recruiter might be working on that position for days, weeks, months at some point, only to find out that they changed their mind. Um, they called that same position out to multiple recruiting firms at once, just to like pick the best candidate. Best firm wins. Essentially,
Right.
will pay the best firm. There's all this inefficiency within that model. And then over 10 years and working with hundreds of customers, I've realized that the cost is very prohibitive. 25% of a first year salary for even an $80,000 salary, like that's a $20,000 fee just for one person that may or may not be employed by that organization 6 months down the road, right?
Right.
So I got this feeling that from a customer standpoint, we were almost like a necessary last resort kind of evil, and you, you
Right.
you felt that, right? It wasn't a partnership. It was very much like a vendor type relationship, and they tried to avoid working with the recruiting agencies really